Good morning. Just giving an update. Um, my system went out 2 days ago. I got it up and running. I had to do a jump start from my vehicle to my system. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes if for whatever reason, if the batteries drop down below the settings that you have, I had it at 10%, and it will shut the MPP controllers off. These right here. I had 3 of them. These two, this one and this one, they are hooked up. Right now I don't have them hooked up because I'm going to redo the whole thing. And then this third one was a backup for just other stuff that I use. This one is for the battery for the pump, and I have another battery in the shed, etc., etc., etc. So I'm going to try to organize it, set it up right, get everything going. So I got it running yesterday, and then I had the same problem yesterday night in the evening. And what I think the problem is twofold, right, in 2 areas. One area is because I had the Makeskyblue, this one and the other one, these two are set up in the system, and the third one that I have, actually that's wasn't set up on my display on my tablet, which I get a reading and I can follow, second by second, whatever the story is. So technically that adds extra power to the system. The batteries do detect it, and it does show up, but sometimes, like lately, I've been getting a lot of hot sun, and it's been charging it very quick. It's a possibility that it may have been an overcharge. So when that happens, sometimes the batteries will go over the amount. I had that happen in the shed. I have the settings on my it's an MPPT in there, and that one sometimes go over the amount. It's a cheap charge controller, so sometimes that'll go up to 14, and then I would just have to take the clips off the battery, and then it would drop down to 12.6, and everything is good. And I think something like that happened with this system, right? So what I'm going to do, I am going to take this one off. I'm not going to use this as a backup anymore. I'm going to put that on a separate battery, which I have right now. And I have another battery. I'll set that up someplace else. And then I'm just going to use these two, this one and this one, on the system, right? And the other problem that I was having was that on the inverter, it was giving me bad readings, and it caused my refrigerator to either wasn't giving it the right amount of source of power, because it's a possibility it could have been over the amount of 12 voltage, so it wasn't giving a proper wattage, and the refrigerator started acting up. Now my refrigerator won't, it doesn't start up properly. So I'm going to try to correct that, see if I can reset the inverter. I don't know how, but I'm going to just put these two on there, do the right settings, everything else. My battery totally drained down. As far as on the system, it's showing that the battery is very low, and that may not be the case, but because of the way that the batteries got overloaded, and instead of reading 12 volt, it went up to, let's say if it's a possibility, it went up to 13, 14 volts, then it's going to give a off reading, and this inverter is only set up for 12 volts. So that would cause a problem, and it would give a delay, it would give error readings and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully I will just use these two, set it up properly. Hopefully I won't get a overrun, excessive power on the batteries that possibly caused that thing to happen. And I'll let you know how this goes as I go along. Okay, let me change this one on. This Makeskyblue, you can put in two sets of positive, two sets of negative, so it actually lessens the stress on the system on it, and just pulling out of just one outlet. This is a good idea the way they did this. So actually you can split it up, and then actually going into the battery, the same thing. Instead of just going on one wire, you could split up the load, and it'll take the stress, make it a little bit less off the system, and make it less of the wires heating up and losing power, wattage from the heat. So that's not bad. For a small setup, they did a pretty decent job. You know, and I still don't, like I said, I'm not believing that these because I had 3 of them on there, 2 of them was on the system, 1 wasn't. That's what I believe the possibility was. So I'm not blaming Makeskyblue. I blame myself for not adding, inadequate backup, because what happens is both of these are Wi-Fi, the other one is not. So the Wi-Fi works so good that I could see them on my computer. So because I see it on the computer, I kind of know what it is. But then I had the third one was just throwing extra power, which I did not see. The battery detects it, but it'll float the other 2. These 2 are going to float. The third one will still be just throwing in that extra power, and that's the possibility of where the inverter kind of started going whack, because it was getting too much power, and it's like, wait a minute, I can't handle that. You told me I'm 12 volt. You're doing more. And that's right, it's not fair to the inverter that is only supposed to be taking in 12 volts. My bad, as they say. Let me just tie this up for now, because I'm not ready to do anything with it yet. And these are live. These are from the solar up on the roof. So I don't want to play with these things until I'm ready to deal with this stuff. This right here. Yeah, I know it looks sloppy. What do you want? This is a homemade system. So that's what you got. low budget. This is low budget. It's been working for over 2 years. No electric bills. I'll just put this out the way for now. I'll drop it back here. Okay. Yeah, I gotta clean up this area. Make better use of it. I'm gonna do that today. So, and then also I have another couple of backup solar panels. This one is another one that I have right here. It's a flexible one, which is 200 watts. It works very good. I have another one. That's like for emergency. Let's say something happens, I just pop it out, drop it on the floor, and I can get instant stuff. So that's what I've been doing with that. Let me get this out the way. This is my setup, goes into the house. These I will put on this one. What I'm doing right now, I'm just giving this one a break. This one's been it's been doing a great job. Had it for a long time. This was my newer one right here. So I'm going to put the workload on this one. Because this one is, I got 600 watts on this one. This one I have about 400, whatever it is. So I'm giving it a little break. And plus the screen moved down. Still works good, but the screen moved down. I'm not going to open it up. But just giving it a little break. So that's what I'm doing right now. So let me get this going. My battery totally dropped down, so the battery, I'll have to give that a boost. But I just figured let me just set this thing up real quick. Set this up real quick. And let me just I'm putting some tape on this stuff. Even though the voltage is low, you don't want it to touch anything and you know, cause a problem. Because these two wires they're connected to the battery, so I don't need that touching anything. Okay. And okay, get out of there. This, I don't even know I had this thing there. And let me tie these two up right now. I'm not going to play with these. I'm just going to leave it like that. But these I'm going to put in. Again, this setup is going to go into this guy. But I just want to clean up the wires a little bit before I do that. And maybe take it out of this box. So I can build a better box for it. You know, it's been working good for a couple of years, so I'm like, I don't want to play with it, you know, that kind of stuff. See, this screen, it works good, but the screen got loose, if you can see that there. It's kind of moving around in there. And maybe I should open it up and set it, but I don't want to play with it. See that? Yeah, it's just like a tape thing. But it's good, so I'm not going to mess with it. So, like I said, this is a new one, so I'm going to give this one some working time. I just want to clean it out a little bit. I blew it out already with the air gun. I blew both of them out with the air gun. Let me just wipe it off. Let me wipe it off. Let's wipe it off. That's what she said. Just wipe it off. So, don't want to drop these things. Not a good idea. When you're looking for a size, can't find it.